One of the more interesting things about Social Security planning is that the best strategy is often not the strategy that people always expect. Because if you spend time around retirement planning enough, you'll often hear the same advice repeated. Delay Social Security as long as possible. And in many situations, that absolutely can make sense, especially for higher earners in a married couple scenario. But retirement planning rarely works well when one decision gets separated from the rest of the plan. Because claiming Social Security at a certain point will affect portfolio withdrawals, which affect your taxes overall, which affect Medicare premiums, your survivor income, and long term retirement flexibility. So today, I want to walk you through several situations where claiming Social Security at age 62 may actually make sense within the context of the broader retirement plan. Not because claiming early is always better, and not because delaying is always wrong, but because the right answer usually depends on how all the moving pieces interact together. Now, one caveat as we start, I will say if you are working, then taking Social Security before reaching your full retirement age, 67 for most folks these days, may not make the most sense. And this is really due to the earnings test, which only allows you to make about $23,000 in 2026. And this figure changes each year before you are penalized. So just be aware of that. Keep that in mind as we start. Hi, I'm Chris Knight with Cornerstone Wealth Planning, and I'm a certified financial planner and a fiduciary advisor who's helped hundreds of clients make this key decision over the last 20 years. And one of the biggest things that we help clients navigate is how Social Security decisions fit into the larger retirement picture. And this is looking at that alongside taxes, investment withdrawals, healthcare planning, and retirement income strategy. So, if at any point during this video you'd like help evaluating your own retirement plan, I've included a link in the description where you can schedule a complimentary call with our team. Okay, let's start with one of the situations where claiming earlier may actually create more long term stability. Situation number one, Social Security may reduce pressure on the overall portfolio. Now, one mistake sometimes people make when evaluating Social Security is focusing entirely on maximizing the monthly benefit amount. But retirement planning is usually less about maximizing one number, and it's about coordinating all the numbers of your overall retirement plan cohesively together for the best overall decision. For example, someone may retire at age 62 with moderate investment assets, a paid off home, and a fairly large gap between spending needs and guaranteed income. Now, if that person delays Social Security until age 70, the question simply becomes where does the income come from in the meantime? In many cases, the answer is simply going to be the investment portfolio. And if withdrawals become too aggressive early in retirement, this could also increase the sequence of returns risk significantly. And especially if markets struggle during those first several retirement years with larger distributions. So, in certain situations, claiming Social Security may actually reduce pressure on the investment accounts and improve overall long term portfolio sustainability. Now, this is not because Social Security decision is better in itself, but because the broader retirement income strategy becomes much more stable. And this is one situation where retirement planning works much better when Social Security and taxes and withdrawals and investments are all evaluated together instead of just independently. And before we keep going, if you're enjoying the video so far, do me a favor, hit the like button. It really helps this channel reach more people approaching retirement who are trying to make informed financial decisions. All right, something else to consider, and this is a place a lot of folks don't love discussing, but situation number two, health and life expectancy change the math. Now, mathematically, delaying Social Security often works best when someone lives well into their 80s or beyond. But retirement planning also has to account for personal health history and family longevity. So if someone has significant health concerns or expects a materially shorter retirement horizon, claiming earlier may become much more situationable. In some situations, earlier benefits may help someone preserve investment assets, reduce financial stress, improve lifestyle flexibility, or simply be able to enjoy retirement income earlier while their health is still strong. And this is where retirement planning becomes much more personal because retirement is not just about optimization models and break even calculations. It's about the quality of life in retirement, travel, family experiences, freedom of time. And sometimes the math simply is not optimal always, but personally, it may not be best to find the optimal answer from a tax perspective or a planning perspective. It's what matters most to you and allows this to be what is the best decision for your overall situation. So brings us to situation number 3. Transition years create different planning opportunities. And here's what I mean. Another situation where claiming early could make sense is during the retirement transition years. Someone may still be working part-time, consulting, or gradually reducing income before fully retiring. It's important to understand that claiming benefits before full retirement age while still earning significant income could reduce those benefits because of this earnings test that I mentioned earlier. But in certain situations, partial retirement creates opportunities for more flexible income coordination. Someone may use a combination of Social Security, their cash reserves, their portfolio withdrawals, and lower taxable income years to bridge the transition into full retirement. And again, the key point isn't whether claiming early is universally good or bad. It's whether the decision improves the overall retirement structure and what you want to have personally in your own goals. And this is exactly why generalized Social Security advice online or other places can become very problematic because the right strategy depends heavily on taxes, investment needs, withdrawals, and healthcare costs, and also your own personal health and family circumstances. So if you're approaching retirement and trying to answer and figure out questions like, when should I take Social Security? How much can I safely take from my investments? How will my taxes affect this income? Or how do all these moving pieces fit together in one coordinated strategy? That's exactly what we help people do at Cornerstone Wealth Planning. The link in the description allows you to schedule a complimentary call with our team. We'll help you identify potential risk, uncover opportunities, and see whether your current retirement strategy is truly working together efficiently and effectively long term. Okay, next up is situation number 4. Social Security decisions will affect taxes. Now, this is often one of the most overlooked parts of retirement planning. Social Security decisions are not just income decisions. They are obviously key tax decisions too. For example, delaying benefits may create lower income years earlier in retirement. And in some of these situations, these years become very valuable for all kinds of strategies. Roth conversions, strategic IRA withdrawals, and what we call tax bracket management. But in other situations, claiming benefits earlier could reduce pressure on those taxable withdrawals and improve your flexibility elsewhere in your overall plan. This is why retirement tax planning becomes so interconnected and coordinated. Because the goal is not about minimizing taxes just in this one specific year, it's about understanding how to improve the long term tax efficiency across your entire retirement as a whole. Now, we regularly help clients evaluate all types of questions like this. How would this Social Security affect my future taxable income? What happens once required minimum distributions begin? Will Medicare premiums increase later? And does delaying benefits improve or does it weaken my withdrawal strategy? We have to see that all these decisions interact together, which is why retirement planning often becomes much more effective once taxes, investment, Social Security, withdrawal planning are all coordinated under one strategy instead of being managed separately, siloed. So finally, situation number 5. For married couples, the survivor benefits matter a lot. For married couples, survivor income is one of the most important considerations in Social Security planning because when one spouse passes away, the surviving spouse would generally keep the larger of the two benefits. This means delaying benefits for the higher lifetime earner with the higher benefit can sometimes create a much stronger long-term safety net for that surviving spouse. And this is why the blanket advice becomes dangerous. Should we always claim early? Always at full retirement age? Always delay? None of these approaches work universally. And many times the strongest strategy could involve delaying the higher earner's benefit, claiming the earlier benefit for the lower earner at a different time, and coordinating all these withdrawals strategically while also managing taxes carefully during the years all in between. And that's where real retirement planning not just begins, but is where it continues throughout retirement. Not isolated rules or generic advice, but it's coordinated as one cohesive strategy built around the entire household as a whole. So if you're trying to decide whether claiming Social Security at 62 makes sense, then here are the major areas continue to evaluate. We can call this the Social Security Decision Framework. So number one, understand again your retirement income gap. Number two, understand how much pressure withdrawals will place on the overall portfolio to ensure the sustainability. Number three, be sure and check your own personal health and life expectancy consideration. Number four, we must take into account tax coordination opportunities. Number five, be sure and reflect on those retirement transition years. Number six, understand the survivor benefit planning that is vital for married couples. And most importantly, number seven, understand how the Social Security decision affects the overall retirement plan, not just the monthly check amount, because once those pieces are evaluated together, the retirement decision and the right decision usually becomes much more obvious. Now, sometimes claiming at 62 is better and creates more stability in one person's situation, but sometimes delaying creates more long-term protection and is better in a different situation. But the key is understanding how Social Security affects the entire retirement plan, not just the monthly benefit amount. And so if you like help building a personalized retirement strategy around Social Security, taxes, retirement income investment, and long-term planning, it's real simple. Click the link in the description. You can schedule a complimentary call with our team. If you found this video helpful, please, I ask you to make sure to like it, subscribe to the channel, share this with someone else who you think could benefit, who is trying to make these important decisions around Social Security decisions within these next few years. At the end of the day, retirement planning is really about creating sustainable income, flexibility, and long-term confidence. Not finding one perfect answer, but building a strategy that continues to adapt and evolve as life changes. So thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.